What's going on, everyone? I'm Heath.
If I'm Jay.
And you're listening to Host of Horror Special Episode. Today's episode, we are discussing our top 5 favorite films of all time. Jay!
So this will be slightly different from the other special episodes. And the fact that our top 5s may or may not be different from what our previous conversations may lead you to think. So prepare with caution. You may be surprised. Shocked, maybe.
Is Santa Claus on your top 5? The Tim Allen film.
It's not, but I unironically love the Santa Claus. It's a different kind of film for me. I love it.
My fiance put a beret on the other day. Looked just like Bernard.
Oh,
it made me giggle.
God, that is adorable.
Because they got the short hair. Looked just like Bernard. Hilarious.
Oh my God, my heart. All right, so Mr. Host number 1, let's start out with yours and see it.
Start off with mine. Okay, so when we decided to do the top 5, my top 4 were initially picked. Like, I knew what my top 4 were going to be. They just kind of like moved around and I shuffled them a good bit. Number 5 was on a weird spectrum because I kept going back and forth between a lot of films. At one point it was The Wailing. At one point it was Alien. At one point it was Hereditary. At one point it was Kung Fu Hustle. Great film. Amazing film. Don't look at me like that.
No, Kung Fu Hustle is great.
It's just so good.
Your choices so far have been all over the place, as expected.
Yeah. But I went back to childhood with this one, and I guess the reason I didn't want to pick this film is because everyone kind of picks this film a little bit. Like, it's one of the greatest sequels of all time, and I was trying to avoid it.
Is it Shrek 2?
No, close.
Fuck.
Close. It's on the same wavelength of great sequels as Shrek 2.
Okay.
But so growing up, I spent a lot of time at my Pentecostal grandmother's house.
Oh.
And my grandpa didn't really spend a whole lot of time with him, didn't really know him a whole lot. That dude loved movies, and he had a bunch of VHSs that he would let me borrow because it's, Katuna. There's nothing in Katuna, Louisiana. There's a railroad track.
Girl, what in the hell's Katuna?
It's south of Mansfield.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anywho, bored out of my mind looking through VHSs, and the VHSs, he had like the complete trilogy of Indiana Jones films. He had 3 ninjas, all 3 of them. The little kid ninjas? It was amazing. Great movies. But there was one movie that stuck out that I kept watching. And I believe the VHS is still at my grandmother's to this day, and that is Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Ooh, okay.
I tried so hard not to pick this, but I just can't. I love this movie.
I get it, because it's fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
And that's the one with the cool special effects, right?
Yeah, it's the T-1000.
Yeah.
Patrick... Ooh, what is his name? It's not Patrick Stewart.
It's not Swayze, right?
It's not Swayze. He was also in True Blood. He was also in The Faculty.
Wait. Oh, God.
You know who I'm talking about.
I can picture it. You know what?
It's Patrick something another.
We're going to look this up. I don't care if people get on to me about, oh, why on your phone? All right. So, you said from True Blood, right?
He's from True Blood and Terminator 2 and The Faculty.
I have actually not seen The Faculty.
You haven't seen The Faculty?
I have not.
That's good. It's a good one. It's a good horror movie. Anyway, figure it out. Did you find it?
Robert Patrick?
Robert Patrick, that's it. I switched the last name as a first name.
You sure did.
Robert Patrick. He did amazing in this movie. The movie's so good, man.
The Faculty, that's a horror movie?
It is a horror movie. It was directed by
of course.
What was his name?
Of course it's Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez. There we go. It's a good movie.
I gotta. That'll be on my.
It's written by the same guy that wrote Scream.
Of course.
It's good.
Oh God, it's gonna be so campy. The meanings I'm gonna love it.
It is.
Fudge.
It's very campy. It's very good.
I'm gonna love it.
No, it's
I
not
already know.
campy and very good and still very good. Terminator 2.
All right.
Dude.
So, what made you like it so much besides T-1000?
Well, that was the initial draw. Was the action is amazing. The pacing is very good. So even as a kid, it's a long movie, but as a kid, I still watched the whole thing. And then growing up, the story is very, very good. And the basic premise is like the thing that draws me to it is the Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger's the Terminator. Going from machine, learning human emotions. Like the end where he goes, I know now why you cry. It's just something I'll never do. Gets me a little bit. It's amazing. And he kind of like, and the mom even says, Sarah Connor is even like, yeah, out of all the men that have been in John Connor's life, who would have thought a Terminator would be the best father? It's so good, man. Ooh. And the special effects are being, I think it's 91, 92.
I want to say
something like that.
Yeah.
It's early 1990s. The special effects still hold up to this day. Jamie Cameron, man. Jamie Cameron. Killed it.
Man, that's what I remember that movie for, is the special effects. And like back when I was trying to get into VFX and all of that, we had to study T-1000 and study all of the effects that went into Terminator 2 in order to basically learn about the history of special effects in that fashion. And man, when I tell you, it was a phenomenal experience. It's like looking at the behind the scenes of it on those small, underpowered by today's standards computers. They were chugging along trying to get all of those special effects done, and I'm like, wow, they were able to get that done in the 90s.
Yeah, one of my favorite is when they're working on the Terminator's head. The back of the head is a prop, and the mirror that you see is actually Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's not a mirror, it's just a cutout.
That's smart.
And the woman that was in the mirror, Sarah. So you had Sarah Connor working on the head. You see her face, but you see the back of her in the mirror. That's actually her twin sister.
Oh my God. That's
fucking genius.
That is the perfect use of twins. Honestly, like, that's the perfect use of twins right there. Mary Kate and Ashley who?
I think it was her twin sister. It's either a twin sister or just her sister. But yeah, I know they used her sister in that shot. And it's a simple yet very effective effect. And the whole movie, for it being an action movie, it's very well written. For it to be a long movie, it's beautifully paced. And again, the special effects hold up. So it checks all the markings on my little booklet.
It checks all the boxes.
All the boxes. So that's my number 5, Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Okay, so my top 5 is going to be based off like what really sticks to me. So they may or may not be good movies by like, standards of actual critics, but they're good to me. They're fun in my heart. Good. Either that made me cry like a lot, which, doesn't really say much. I cry a lot. So take that with caution. So number 5 may shock you. Okay, so this is not going to be in any particular order. It's just like top 5 movies that I know that I really liked, either from when I was a kid or when I was like an adult. So one of them is a probably going to be one, if people know me, they know that I'm a big fan of this certain video game. Ooh. And it's one that's, as they say, has a rough transition to 3D. So my top 5, number 1 of them is 2020's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh!
So
what?
Oh, come on. Like, you should have saw this coming. I have a whole Sonic tattoo.
I know.
So basically, I was a really big fan of this genre of, video game movies, because like I'm unironically a fan of the Super Mario movie, the one that was like very like hardcore.
Where the Goombas are like little walking.
Yeah,
Oh.
I thought I hated it back when I was a kid, but as an adult, it gave me King of the Hill vibes.
Fucking.
I appreciated it way more.
Fucking Theodore Rex looking ass. Like, what the hell, man?
So basically, me being a Sonic fan for such a long time, like I was both skeptical but hype as fuck for this movie to come out. And then whenever the bullying happened for the studio to basically redesign Sonic to his current fucking adorable, mind you, state in the current movie, is just, the movie plays that so well. It's so it's so inoffensive, and I really do like the characterization of Sonic in this one, as coming from a different place, blah 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 blah, and the concept of the rings being portals. So I just thought that was really cool to implement different things into the canon that make a whole new canon. And it's just I just had a blast watching it, honestly. Like, I just had a fun time, and it may not be like, oh, boundary breaking, but it was like it made me laugh, it made me happy. I got good payoffs. The only thing that I don't care about is the product placement and how obvious it is. If you've seen it, y'all know about the Olive Garden gift card. Y'all would know about the Olive Garden gift card.
It's like what, Starbucks in the Power Rangers movie?
Yeah. It's like, why is this a thing?
It was donuts. Krispy Kreme. That's what it was.
Krispy Kreme
in the Power Rangers movie.
Or like Subway in any like Korean drama or something. It's like, it's so overt. Or even better, Nike in Blood Rage.
Yeah.
It was giving me that, except this was like so overt. But other than that, like, I was a big fan of the movie, and I was just very excited about it, and it made my inner child happy, and my outer grown ass man happy too. So,
you excited about the new game?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I saw the trailer for it the other day, and it looks really good. I'm not a huge Sonic person. Like, the last Sonic game I played was Unleashed, where like he's like a vampire.
I fucking
werewolf. That's
love
it. He turns into like a werewolf.
Werehog. And people can fight me on it.
That's the last game I played, but I've never been a huge fan of Sonic, but this one looks good.
If you decide to play Sonic Colors Ultimate. That was a pretty good one.
Okay.
It's a remake of the Wii version, and so that's the best one so far. But yeah, I just really liked it, and yeah, that's my number 5 if you're counting it in some order. So,
woo! All right, my number 4 is
drum roll, please.
Kill Bill.
Oh shit!
I love Kill Bill. I don't like Volume 2 as much as Volume 1. I know you kind of have to add them together. Like, even Quentin Tarantino kind of counts them as one film. But if I had to pick, it's Volume 1. Love this movie. I am a huge martial arts movie fan. I love martial arts movies. I love anime. And for Quentin Tarantino to not only make a good martial arts movie with a beautifully animated segment that is a huge homage to 80s and 90s anime, and all the homages to...
Wasn't there a reference to Rashomon?
No,
Samurai Revenge movie from 52?
I'm not sure.
I only remember certain parts of it because I had to study Kill Bill again for class, and that was one of the things they taught them about, was like the homage.
There's so many, down to like the suit that she wears at the end. It's Bruce Lee's yellow spandex suit.
And baby Uma Thurman.
Oh,
so sexy. Oh my god. Like, when I tell you, I never thought Uma Thurman would be a sex icon with that, but like, she was fucking serving, y'all. I loved it. It's iconic.
She was good. Lucy Liu as O-Ren. I'm sorry. Take my fucking heart and just have it, baby. Like,
if the first one's what I'm thinking about, there is this Japanese actress, Chiaki Kuriyama, Gogo Yubari. I want to say she's in the first one. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until like way later on, because like I follow like Chiaki Kuriyama as like an art, like a singer, because she does like singing between her gigs, her movie gigs. So I was like, holy crap, that's her in it. So I was like, that was really cool, and she did an awesome job.
Yeah,
and
she played a amazing little psycho bitch. The movie is so good. It's non-linear storytelling because like the whole beginning like fight is after the whole Oren fight. So it's Quentin Tarantino's non-linear storytelling. It's his writing, which I'm almost positive he could write a episode of Teen Titans Go and make it seem like Shakespeare, fart jokes and all.
See, my only problem with anything that Tarantino does is the fact that, like, depending on the subject matter, he may or may not go into slur territory. And I'm like, there's no way you have to say the N-word when you're trying to make us like a Western that has to do with slavery. I'm just saying. But that's another time for another day, for another podcast. But no, I really liked Kill Bill a lot.
It's so good.
So I agree with that.
It's
That's
so
a good
good.
one.
It almost got an M17 rating because of all the blood at the last fight. So you know what he did? The part where she plucks the eyeball out, he just made it black and white. So there's still all the blood and all the gore effects. He didn't cut a damn thing out. All he did was got rid of the color red, proving that the rating system here in America does not care about blood, violence, or gore. They only care about the color red.
This is sham. And I thought it was a very artistic choice with the making it black and white. I thought it was like totally intentional. And like was not like a ratings thing.
And the transition between because you got where like she plucks the eyeball out, that's when it goes to black and white. So that's cool. But then transitioning back into full color is her taking a breather for the first time, and she blinks. And as soon as she blinks, color comes back, and it's like, beautiful.
That's an amazing transition. Amazing transition. So I love that.
I love Kill Bill. It's so good. That's my number 4.
Nice. So my number 4 is gonna be kind of weird. So, are you familiar with Chris Rock? Like the work of Chris Rock?
Yes, I have seen him in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Have you seen anything of his from the early 2000s?
A few.
Like Rush
things.
Hour notwithstanding.
That's Chris Tucker.
Was it Chris Tucker? No. You're right. I keep on forgetting my Chris's. There's too many goddamn Chris's in Hollywood, y'all. Too many of them. All right, so Chris Rock. My number 4 is going to be Head of State. Chris Rock being the first black president, right? My little kid ass was all like, oh my God, a black president. And baby, I was really inspired by that film. I was like, I watched that thing left, right, up and down. Every time it came on TV, I watched that thing so freaking much. Not knowing that less than 5 years later, everything would come true with Obama being the first black president in office. So it was just like, oh, it's a premonition. And so sometimes I like to be like, Chris Rock did it first. My favorite part of it is just like the jokes landed so well, and the whole journey of, this ordinary man, this ordinary person, just going from almost like rags to riches, except he's coming from basically like the hood to basically being a president, actually the president, and all the obstacles that stood in his way, even from his own people. And it's really good. If you watch the film, it's a very clever film. It didn't really get that much. I don't think it was like a box office like hit, but it was a very modest hit. So I just recommend it because it's just a good, solid, fun, black comedy about, I won't say black comedy as in the genre, but a black comedy as in like, if you black and you like comedy, you like this about, the first president before Obama came into town. So
I remember having an argument with a friend in high school about that.
Oh dear God.
I was talking about a black comedy that he should totally check out. It's dark, morbid, and beautiful. He comes back after the next day after watching it and goes, dude, there wasn't a single black person in that movie. No, good sir, no. And he's like, well, okay, well, if that's a black comedy, what would you call a black comedy? A comedy.
Honestly, you're not wrong at that at all. But like, we can go to this whole conversation about how black movies are like less known and less like promoted, less everything than their white counterparts. But that's, like I said, another time for another podcast for another day.
Yeah.
Because I can write a whole dissertation about that. But yeah, that's my number 4 pick.
Head of state. Cuckoo. So, moving on to number 3. My number 3, which I had to go back and forth between my number 3 and my number 2. And this is where this is landing. Lord of the Rings, and I'm counting the whole fucking trilogy. You cannot make me separate these movies, and if you're making me, I'm picking the Two Towers.
The eye roll that I just gave is so real right now.
Lord of the Rings is so good.
Lord of the Rings is so good, but yet I don't know why I'm utterly unsurprised by the fact you love Lord of the Rings.
So good.
All right. So what made you like it?
What made me like it was honestly Gimli and Legolas. Everything else was like second. Like the fights were really, really cool. Frodo and Sam's little bromance turned to gaymance turned into, oh, they're not actually gay, but I wish they were.
Nah, they fucking.
Yeah, no, like when Sam went back home and married that bitch from the pub, I was like, no, you're breaking Frodo's heart. Anyway.
Never before have I heard a ship sail so hard and sink so hard.
Merry and Pippin was fun too. And all the characters were fun. The action was really good. It was a fucking grandiose set piece, and they literally were filming movies back to back to back, not even knowing if the first one was going to be a success. They had that much confidence in this shit.
Man, if I were able to film a whole trilogy worth of movies just right next to each other,
right off the bat,
I will be a millionaire right now.
And a fucking studio just gave it. It's not like nowadays where you got to come out with fucking Dune Part 1 and hope it does good enough to get a Part 2.
Unless you're in like a Marvel movie.
This studio was like, yeah, no, we're going to go ahead and throw money for you to make a 3-part fucking epic that is 4 hours long each movie.
I think, honestly, I feel like the only reason why that in particular was so successful is because it's basically like when you think of high fantasy, that's the first thing you think of. Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Like, that's, yeah.
And so back to why I love the movie, because fuck The Hobbit. Those movies suck.
Oh!
Back to why I love Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry, The Hobbit looks like fucking World of Warcraft animated it. I don't like that movie at all. It's rushed. It's stupid. It's rushed, but also winded. Like, they took a small, little, condensed story and made it 3 fucking movies for no reason.
Child, where's my tea at? Because, damn, that's a take.
Fuck that.
That is a take.
Fuck that movie. Anyway, Gimli and Legolas's relationship throughout the entire movie is fantastic. I love when they start out being totally racist towards each other, and by the end of it, they are the biggest of bros. I love that shit, and it's all through the shit that they go through, them actually sitting down and having a conversation, realizing that dwarves and elves never actually sat and just talked, that they're not actually different, they're just taught that they're different. I love their relationship. They have such a good little bromance.
Okay. I'm gonna give you that.
I need to watch that movie again because I have not seen it since before high school. It's been a minute.
You're 27 now. You have a job.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you really think you have the time to watch Lord of the Rings?
I would have to plan, I would have to take a vacation and then plan 3 days out of that vacation to watch those movies.
Oh my God.
Or at least a weekend. We do nothing but just wake up and watch those movies.
I can't even blame you for that because there's people who do that every year for Marvel movies. So I can't even fault you for that.
Yeah, and most Marvel movies aren't even that good.
You're right. That's not even much of a hot take. That's you're right. Because depending on the
serviceable, yes. Serviceable, yes. Fun, yes. Good, eh. Let's be honest, eh.
And it depends. I'm just a sucker for them, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I love a good interconnected story. All right, so I just thought of a new number 3 in my head because this one we're kind of going back into childhood, y'all, with this one.
Is it the Star Wars prequels?
No, fuck you. Actually, I feel like you may have heard this movie because of certain things that people may be into. How High?
Yes.
I fucking loved How High.
Yes.
Knowing
where Redman and Method Man go to college?
Yes.
Yes.
I loved that movie knowing doggone well I had no business watching that movie when I was 6 years old. When I was before I was even 10. I honestly, I want to say, I think I accidentally broke the VHS because I watched it so much. It's just that How High for me, for some reason, was just the definition of a comfort movie.
It's so funny.
And it's hilarious. And it's even though, of course, it's 2001, so of course it's going to be outdated as shit. But my God, I just adored every moment just watching that film, from the jokes to the Mark of Buddha, and the whole thing about the whole ghost thing, and how if you can get so high you become smart, and if you get even higher you basically get to see fucking ghosts and shit. Everyone,
didn't they grew a marijuana plant using the ashes of their dead buddy or something like that. Yeah. That's how they passed all their tests.
Whenever I tell you, I should have known there was something whenever I watched this movie, because I was that movie sticks out to me in so many good ways, because I watched that movie so many times as a kid.
I'm glad you picked this one, because I thought you were about to pick Half Baked. And I was like, I don't know. Half Baked is funny. Don't get me wrong. It is a stoner classic.
Never watched it.
It's funny. It's a stoner classic, but How High is better, in my opinion.
I've also one of my favorite actresses at the time, Lark Voorhees, before God rest her soul, she kind of went look. She had a Britney moment. She was hilarious as the love interest in a movie, and it just goes.
She was the love interest. She was good looking.
She was very
pretty.
I feel like that was her peak. And I think she was I can't remember if she was in her late 20s or 30s in that point. She was a little bit older because she was coming from Saved by the Bell and all of those times, and I just really liked it. So that's my number 3. And oh God, it gives me so much nostalgia just thinking about that movie. I get many good feelings about it. Like I said, mine is all over the place.
Yeah, no, but that's a good one. I love How High is a good one. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Right?
Now I want to watch it. Goddamn. All right, my number 2.
Ooh.
No Country for Old Men. I know, all mine are pretty much going down the same path.
He loves him some fucking westerns.
I do love westerns, and this is a beautiful modern western. This movie is so good. No Country.
Wait, I think I'm always confusing No Country for Old Men for Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I don't know why.
It's the same directors.
That's probably why. Because
the Coen brothers. No, No Country for Old Men is the one that had. Oh my God, I cannot think of his name. The character's name is Anton Chigurh. He was in Dune.
Oh, is it the one who played Big Dude, or
no?
Is he?
It was the leader of the blue-eyed people.
Oh, him. Oh, I forgot his name.
Javier Bardem.
We're just all right. You talk about it while I look it up.
This movie is amazing. It is beautifully shot, well paced, phenomenally acted. I mean, there's not a bad actor in this movie, and the Coen brothers knock it out of the park yet again.
Oh, see, okay. There's so many movies with Woody Harrelson in it that I did not know that Woody Harrelson's in.
Yeah.
he's such a chameleon when it comes to roles. Because good God, there's so many of them that I didn't know that he was in. He's just all over the place.
Was I right though?
You were correct.
Javier Bardem?
Yeah, you were correct.
Ha 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 ha. Anyway, he does a phenomenal job as. Have you ever seen No Country for Old Men?
That's the one I haven't seen. I think that's why I keep it confusing with our brother Rathau.
Okay, we need to watch that movie.
All right, bet.
It is so good. Like there's things I want to spoil, but I don't want to spoil if you haven't seen it because it's.
Oh, I'm gonna probably if we're gonna watch it, we're gonna watch it, so you can spoil me on it anyway.
It's just very well acted, and there's this beautiful theory about the movie where you focus on Josh Brolin's character who finds money from a cartel deal gone bad, and he's being chased down not only by the cartel but by Anton Chigurh, who is this like mega assassin. Like, he is emotionless. He is haunting. He literally goes to get gas, and simply because the gas station attendant was being friendly and asking a few too many questions, he gets pissed off and has like a war of words with him before telling him to call it, saying he's going to flip a coin, call it. And the guy's like, well, what do I have to lose? And he goes, everything. This man was about to shoot a guy, about to kill a guy simply for just asking too many questions, being a little too nosy. So good.
My
Anywho,
God.
There's a theory, though, that the main officer that is chasing after, trying to find Josh Brolin's character, I can't think of his name right now. Ellis? No, I can't think of his name right now. But
the actor's name or the character's name?
It's Josh Brolin is the actor. But Tommy Lee Jones's character is trying to find him, trying to help him out. And there's this beautiful theory that Tommy Lee Jones or Anton Chigurh only exists in Tommy Lee Jones's head. So throughout the movie he reminisces about his dad being an officer and his grandfather being an officer and how they would handle these kind of times. And there's this idea that he pictures this embodiment of evil rather than the world itself being evil. So Anton Chigurh being this totally fucked up individual that's just going around murdering people cold-bloodedly with no expression on his face. I mean, he almost seems like he doesn't blink in most of his scenes. Like, he just seems so unhuman. And there's, again, this idea that he doesn't exist. He only exists in Tommy Lee Jones's mind because Tommy Lee Jones has to have a bad guy to go after. He can't accept the fact that there is no one bad guy. The world is just becoming really fucked up.
What kind of Fight Club shit?
It's so good because there's a scene where he goes to Josh Brolin's character's motel after a certain event happens, and he notices that the door lock has been blown open, which is something that Anton Chigurh does throughout the entire fucking movie.
Oh,
and
no.
You cut to inside where Anton Chigurh is sitting on the bed waiting for Tommy Lee Jones's, or just waiting, just sitting there. So Tommy Lee Jones holds the door handle, pulls his weapon, opens it, and no one's there. So leading you to believe, okay, he's just a figment in his imagination. He's just someone, he's the embodiment of the evil that the world is becoming that Tommy Lee Jones's character can capture.
Oh, this man is crazy. Got it.
Well, no, but it's just a theory. Like, you can watch the whole movie and just assume that Anton Chigurh is a real fucking person.
Huh.
It's just an idea. It's just a theory about the movie. Like, this isn't canon whatsoever. The movie is so ambiguous. Even it's based off a novel, and the novel is even more ambiguous than the movie. So it's one of those movies where you have to fathom the meaning. You have to fathom or come up with your own answers. So good.
Oh my God.
Love this movie.
Man, you make it sound so good
because
like
it is.
you can sell a movie, man. You can sell it.
It's good. Watch No Country for Old Men. Like, out of all my other movies, like Terminator, Kill Bill, and Lord of the Rings, they're good movies, but they're mainly nostalgia is why they're on my top 5. This is on my top 5 because I can watch it and have a new outcome every time I watch it. Like, it's such a good film to analyze. So good.
Okay. I respect that. I F's with it because of the fact that this is coming from more of a current version of you rather than like your past versions, if that makes any sense. Woo. All right. So my God, I'm finding it kind of hard to pick what my number 2 is because there's so many movies that I've seen that like stick out to me so well. But I think one movie that I feel like I've really grown attached to, I think it was because more so on my current filmmaker side, Us. I really, really, really love Us.
Yeah, aren't you? You're like in that weird camp where you actually prefer Us over Get Out, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. I don't know why. Like, honestly, I think I know why, but at the same time, it's like it just really just stuck out to me in a way that Get Out does, but not to the same extent. But I think it's also because I saw Us before Get Out, at least not like paying attention to it. But I really enjoyed Us because I think you can put multiple people in the same kind of situation, like race be damned, and you can still tell the same story and it'll still play off the same way. And I think that's what I like about it. Also, I realized that I really want to watch The Lost Boys, and canonically, Us takes place during the time in the same location where they were filming The Lost Boys. So I was like, bonus points for that. I really want to see The Lost Boys now because of it. But
Are you talking about the beginning when she's a child? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
It is really cool. But
Lost Boys is really good.
I know. I've seen clips from it and it just looks so good. I'm hate that I haven't seen it yet.
It's sexy vampires.
But wasn't like River Phoenix in it?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's one of the kids.
Yeah, I think it was like around that time. Was like
I'm pretty sure he's one of the vampire hunters that talks like this the entire movie because it makes him seem like a bad. No, but it's like on purpose. Like there's moments where he'll break that facade, but like whenever he's trying to seem tough, he always talks like this. It's adorable.
It's like I think it's like The Lost Boys is in the same vein as like the Stand By Me kind of crowd. I think because probably the same people or similar people.
Is good.
So I need to watch those.
Stand By Me is good.
But
Shawshank Redemption was very close to being in my top 5 too. I'm sorry, keep going.
That one was really good.
It's a good movie.
But yeah, no, I just really enjoyed Us. It made me, I'm not gonna say it didn't make me cry, but it made me really feel things as a filmmaker from just the way that the acting was done. I'm starting to think I like double roles because not like some of these honorable mentions, like freaking Blood Rage now, because I've seen it like God knows how many times because of this podcast. Yay. Blood Rage, Pluto and Ash, hell, even The Parent Trap. Just I've grown an appreciation for people who can play multiple roles and Austin Powers. Shoot, even with everything with American Horror Story, like playing in the whole anthology of characters and then playing off those same characters too at the same time. I really, really respect that because that takes a lot of acting effort. Like it takes a lot of acting effort because you're basically playing off yourself. And it's almost in the same energy as like, you know, the whole playing with a CGI doll or like kind of like a CGI thing, kind of like Roger Rabbit or Sonic the Hedgehog or like, you know, stuff like that. So it gives me that same energy, but I'm just really into it. Lupita Nyong'o played an amazing role. The kids played an amazing role. Honestly,
she did so good. That raspy voice she did for Red,
that made my throat hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also like very bitter that it did not get any awards like talking about. So I'm always gonna be bitter about that.
Yeah, but horror is always snubbed for awards. Like,
well, you would think that since Got Out got so much love, got so much like recognition, that Us will follow suit.
But even Get Out, as good and as recognized as it was, didn't get. I don't think it got anything, did it?
Not anything significant, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, horror is always snubbed. It does not matter.
It's a shame. It's
yeah.
a shame. But yeah, that's my number 2. And I'm excited to talk about my number 1 is because the movie for it is still in the festival circuit, so it's not really out in theaters quite yet or released yet. So
cheating.
Oh, it's not cheating.
It's cheating because I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's cheating because I went to Sundance.
oh, look at you.
Ooh. All right, go about your number 1.
Oh, fuck you. My number 1 is pretty obvious to anyone who knows me or anyone who has recently watched our episodes.
Godzilla versus Bylante?
No.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Tombstone.
Of course it is.
Tombstone. I love Tombstone. I feel like I'm just like re-stepping over what I've already said. Because, well, last time I went into huge depth. This one, it's well written. It's well acted. Kurt fucking Russell kills it. Val Kilmer is Doc Holliday. There is no other Doc Holliday other than Val Kilmer.
I just hate the fact that Val Kilmer is just like not in the best of health at all anymore.
Yeah, it's sad, but
it's so sad.
He's such a good he was, and I'm sure still is, because he was in that MacGruber movie, and he was funny in that.
Now he can't even speak.
Barely. He can still speak. But it's barely. It's very raspy. Have you seen the documentary Val?
I couldn't. I watched it. I tried to watch it. I couldn't. I was like,
hurts.
I feel too many emotions about
hurts.
this. And then reading the interview, like about him, like about that documentary, I was like, nope, can't do it, cannot do it, not even a little bit. So sad.
Very sad, but he kills it in this movie. Tombstone is so good. So good.
So, on a side note, before I get to my number 1, apparently Heath wants to do a side channel or whatever, to where I basically react to movies that he shows me that I haven't seen yet, and there's apparently a lot of movies I haven't seen yet that he wants me to watch. So
yeah, like doing this podcast with you, I've noticed that.
Wow, yeah.
Like, it's not as bad as my fiance, because my fiance hasn't watched anything.
but I just like what I like, I guess. Or I'm just so picky or choosy about what I watch because I don't have time, or I have the attention span of a freaking pebble.
Damn.
I don't know. Maybe
they're not even sentient.
They're not even sentient.
Words in English.
See, this is why we're filmmakers and not English majors. But
and yet we choose to do a podcast where we speak the English.
Oof.
But Tombstone is very good. Please go check that movie out. It's so good.
I think he's just gonna keep circle jerking around it, so I'm just gonna go ahead with my number 1 movie.
What's your number 1?
My number 1 is another Winston Duke movie. Little bit backstory to it. I went to Sundance in 2020 as a volunteer. So it was really cool experience. It was through my school. I low-key was like, oh, I'm going to meet some celebrities here. But I was also here to like basically watch movies, network, and hopefully find a job, right? So one of the people who I was really excited to see was Winston Duke. And I was like, okay, cool. So there's this movie that he was in that he executive produced called 9 Days. And it was the feature directorial debut of Edson Oda, who is a Brazilian-Japanese filmmaker who basically who's been in the game in Brazil, if I remember correctly, for the past good chunky years doing like commercials and short films. He does a few short films that he's actually won. One of them is, I forgot the name of it, but it's really cool and animated one that basically acts like a animated comic, but it's made entirely of paper. Like the story is basically like it's like a flip book, so it's really cool. I think it's actually on YouTube. But this story is about I'm getting emotional thinking about it. So basically, it talks about the concept of death and being born or being reborn. So Winston Duke basically plays this person who basically is trying to select people essentially to be born, and it's a very kind of meta film, and I hate that it's still in the festival circuit. It recently had a limited theater release, so it's kind of like staggering into certain theaters, and it was here and I didn't get a chance to watch it again, and I really want to watch it again. It has Winston Duke, Benedict Wong, Zazie Beetz,
Beetz.
What's it? Bill Scat? I think it's Bill Skarsgård.
Skarsgård?
Yes, it. Yeah, Pennywise, and I forgot another dude from I think not SNL. Basically, another dude from like this comedy series, right? But it's a very just intense and moving drama about going into just what it means to be born, or what it means to basically die, what it means to basically like to what does it mean to exist. And the story, from what I've been told by the director during a panel, is that the story is based off of kind of like redemption for his uncle, because I think his uncle done something, or like something happened to his uncle, or he was basically like shunned from the family, and before he was able to make amends with the family, he died. And this was kind of like a tribute to his uncle in a way to basically atone for his uncle's sins, or to what's the other term for it? Basically, it's like, I want to bring closure to this era of my family's life, basically, and it made me cry so many times. And then I spoke with Winston Edson, and a producer who's, I found out later, was also a producer for the remake of Birth of a Nation. So I'm like about it, but it's a very moving film, and I really hope that when it comes out on PVOD or somewhere, if you catch it at a festival, or if it's like a limited screening or something, please go watch it. It's one of my few perfect films that I've ever seen, and just I get choked up thinking about it. It's just so moving, so emotional, and just everything about it is perfect. The acting, everything. The acting, the way that the pacing is set up, the emotions that you feel from every single person. Oh, one last thing. The title actually comes from the amount of days that Winston Duke's character spends with these people to consider them to be born into the real world and whatnot. So it'll get you, and I can't wait for people to finally watch it, because God, watching the trailer does not do it justice. It's a good trailer, but it just does not do it justice at all. You have to watch the full movie.
Yeah, it sounds like a unique concept to even try and put in a trailer. It's
a very unique concept, and honestly, like, it gave me the same vibes of what I felt when I watched Moonlight. It's just like I just got so many tingles. I felt so moved, and I'm a sucker for things that drive me to tears. That's just me, man. And God, it's so good. So good. So Yeah, that's my top 5 and your top 5.
Woo! Top 5s, yeah.
So as you can tell, we kind of have like separate things for what it means to be in the top 5, but what I like about this podcast is that despite our differences in taste, I feel like we were able to connect on a different level when it comes to like, oh, I get why you like it, or so on and so forth. And I just think that is a really cool thing for this to come up with. And I really want y'all in the comments to kind of talk about what your top 5s are and why you like them so much, because we legit, we want to know.
Yeah, because we're not saying like these are, the top 5 or top 10 best movies of all time. This is just our list. Everyone's list is going to be different. I mean, obviously, ours could have been, it couldn't have been either further apart, but, it's just our list. So definitely let us know what your top 5 are. We would love to hear from y'all.
Not even gonna lie, I'm honestly surprised that none of our lists included any animated movies. Well,
for me, I mean,
technically Sonic the Hedgehog is an animated movie, but it's a hybrid, so
yeah, I don't know. I'm always geared towards, like, I'm always going to feel more emotion towards live action. Like, animation, it may make me get the belly tingles. I feel happier watching those movies. Like, that's a good movie. But, like, live action, if it's good, if it's a good live action movie, I go, damn. And that's all my top 5s are damn movies.
Makes sense.
All my top movies are damn movies.
They're just damn.
Yeah, when you get done watching it, you're like, damn, it's a good movie.
Oh my gosh. Man, and I just cannot wait for y'all to start like watching the movies that we watch and hearing your feedback on those movies as compared to our opinions of the movies, because holy moly, man. I think you're going to have a fun time, y'all, with these.
But yeah, in the coming weeks, you will be listening to Gremlins, which we have 2 special guests. So get excited about that.
Oh, it's gonna be very chaotic, just like the Gremlins themselves.
But it was a fun time. It was a fun watch.
It's a fun watch. So stay tuned for that, everybody.
And until then, I've been Heath,
and I've been Jay,
and this has been Host of Horrors.